Miss Boyd, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing fine. Doing just fine.
Hello, Miss Boyd. This is Miss 100%, co-host of Smooth Drama. Thank
Great
you
to
for
talk to
joining
you.
us. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Now, now talk about your book, The Spaghetti Set, and what made you want to write this book.
Well, it's a light fiction about two Italian American families. My name is Rosemary Boyd, but I was born Rosa Maria Maisto. I came from a large Italian family. My mother was one of 18 children, and my father was one of 11. So I had a bazillion relatives to choose from to get ideas about my story.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's a light fiction, and it's about how interactions between family members who drive each other crazy. It's set in post World War II New Jersey. Just that was a time when families were closer than they are nowadays.
Yeah. Now, I know that you are from Trenton, New Jersey. What made you want to make the transition out to Arizona?
We moved out here for the weather. Well, we were looking for dry climate and not too hot. So Prescott, Arizona is up in the mountains, and it fit the bill. So we drove out here without even seeing it. We just saw it on the internet, and we came here to try it out. We liked it, and we stayed.
Well, I was going to say
Hey,
you came to Arizona. I mean, not too hot. I'm like, well, I haven't been to Prescott, so
Prescott's about 20 degrees cooler than Phoenix. It's up in the mountains.
okay. So it's only 85.
Right. And when it's 100 in Phoenix, it's about 80, 82 here.
Okay. All right.
it's great to be able to move to a place that you heard is nicer, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and commit to it because this is what I want to do. I'm not going to waver, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm moving. That's it, that's all. Was it kind of like that? And then when you got...
Well, we decided we needed a drier climate. I looked on the internet and I found all these different sites. We went to Albuquerque, but that was a big city and we didn't like the big city. So our second stop was Prescott, and it's a small town atmosphere. It's kind of like Princeton, New Jersey, with a Western flair.
Okay.
So it's kind of nice. And if we didn't like it here, we were going to try Reno, but we never got there.
Oh, okay. So,
The only problem is I'm so far from my family, and that's one of the reasons I wrote the book, is to get back to my roots.
Right. So, and I understand that you wrote the book once you got settled in Arizona. Was it something about being in Arizona? I know being close to your family, but what made you get the writing bug?
Well, when I first came here, I volunteered for the American Cancer Society, and my job was to talk to patients about their cancer and to provide them with supplies that they needed, like wigs and scarves and things like that. Well, it was pretty slow sometimes, and I went and talked to the receptionist, and she got in trouble for chit-chatting with me. So there was a computer on the desk, and I said, oh, I'm going to sit down and write my thoughts from the night before. And I brought them home with me, and I called my daughter, and I read them to her. She said, Mom, you should write a book. So I started writing then. I wasn't working on the spaghetti set, but a different book, which I'm now rewriting. But that's what got me started writing. And then I went into poetry and novels, and so it's been a long haul, but it's been fun.
All right.
you just mentioned that the work that you were doing with the Cancer Society, and I was reading that you run an adult literacy program as well.
Right. Well, I don't volunteer for the Cancer Society anymore. Right now I'm volunteering for adult literacy program. I meet with a student at the library most of the times, and I teach him how to read. He's a 35-year-old student that never really learned to read in school, and so he's learning now, and it's a great feeling to be helping. And I also volunteer for Big Brothers Big Sisters and the American Red Cross. That's in between writing.
So you are very busy.
Yeah. Now I know as an Italian writer, Italian American, you get tired of that stereotype about all Italians in the mafia. And,
right.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, if you know Italians, you know they're not all mafiosos. Yeah, sometimes many Italians get annoyed by that. It doesn't bother me that much because I know who I am, and I don't worry about what other people think.
Okay.
So it doesn't bother me personally, but I know it does bother a lot of Italians that they're stereotyped. Just like any nationality or race or religion, how they're stereotyped, and people don't usually like that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know you saw the news this weekend about the Italian cruise ship crash.
Oh, yes, that's a horrible catastrophe.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, and now we're getting the fact that, you know, that the company's saying that, hey, they deviated from the norm when actually it's something that they had done before, getting close to the shore. I thought it was horrible also. And
yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of Italian families, and all the tourist families are very upset, and rightly so, about what happened. It was unnecessary, and it was a catastrophe.
yeah, I mean, especially when you think about with the technology that we have nowadays, you think that you'd be able to avoid a rock.
Right. I agree with you.
So I know you not only you have the spaghetti set that you're also working on your second book that you were talking about rewriting. You want to talk to us about that one, and where are you? Are you finished with it? Almost finished?
Well, I'm halfway through rewriting it. It's called Depending on Your View, and it's about a middle-aged menopausal woman, Italian-American, who lives in Prescott, Arizona. And she spies on her neighbors who have drug and alcohol problems and domestic violence problems. So the story goes back and forth between the woman and her husband and the family across the street that she spies on. And so it's an interesting story.
You know you're not inspiring trust in your neighbors with this story, right?
Yeah, when I first asked my neighbor across the street to read it, she says, "This sounds like me." But it wasn't. I said, "It's a fiction." But I'm looking forward to people enjoying the spaghetti set. Sales are going great, and it can be purchased on any online bookstore. Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, and many others. And I've quite a following already, and I'm really happy about it.
I mean, I read the first couple of chapters, and I plan on checking it out when I get the time. It looks like a fun read.
Yeah, it's light. There's a lot of humor in it, and it's not rip-roaring laughing, but it'll make you chuckle in parts. And some of the characters, there's one character in particular, he's the rascal, in Italian you call him malandrino, and he steps on everybody's toes, and he tries to make a buck any way he can without working hard, and no matter what law he breaks. So he makes the story interesting and makes you want to turn the pages, and there's a love story in the middle too. So there's a lot going on.
No, not the love story.
There's a little romance in it. There's a little sex in it. There's a little of everything in it. A lot of family relationships, and other's nerves, by their idiosyncrasies, and
Like any typical family, then you always
right.
have
There's
one
always
knucklehead in the family that pesters everybody. So yeah,
right.
okay.
Some people have told me that they actually, as they're reading the book, they feel like they're right in the room with the characters. One lady said to me, "Oh, I felt like I was a fly on the wall watching." So
and you're gonna tell me there's no mafia in it? No God?
No mafia in it.
Got killed.
Man,
Yeah.
you crushing it.
No.
Now tell the people if they wanted to catch up to your book or read your poetry and get in contact with you, where could they catch you?
Well, I have a blog. It's called Spaghetti Set. Blogspot, blogspot.com. My email address is on there, and a link to my poetry website is also on there. And there's a video of a TV interview I did, and also another radio show interview that I did is on there. And the first two chapters, like you said, there's a sample of the book on there. So there's a lot to read and see on the blog.
Okay. Now, before we let you go, I know you do the poetry. What kind of poetry do you do?
Oh, just whatever comes to me. Some of it's rhyming, some of it's not. I mix photography with the poetry. When I take a walk outside, I take pictures, and when I come home, a poem comes to mind, and I start writing it and add it to my blog.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Ms. Boyd, for coming on the show, and I look forward to checking out your book, and also I look forward to the menopausal nosy neighbor that keeps me closing my blinds.
Okay. Thanks for having me on your program. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and good luck. And hopefully, when you come out with your second book, we can have you on again.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
All right.